Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and welcome all of you back to the 25th character of the Super Smash Bros. 5 Newcomer Ideas, Speculation, Predictions, Travis Touchdown from the No More Heroes series. The next third-party character I want to talk about, and a character I've been talking about wanting to see in Smash Bros., and a lot of people have been wanting to see in Smash Bros. Since the days of Smash Bros. 4, and the people who were very unrealistically thinking it would happen in Brawl. No, it was never going to happen in Brawl. Smash 4, he had a chance. And Smash Bros. 5 now, he has a chance. But Brawl, he never had a chance in Brawl. Sorry, but he never did. And I do remember hearing people mention him back then. But Travis Touchdown, why does he make sense for Smash Bros. 5? What are moveset ideas he could have? And what are his percentage chances? I could see him in this game as a third-party character. Let's get on to the reasons why I think it would make sense for him to be, in Smash Bros. 5 to begin with. All of his games have been on Nintendo at some point. I know they ported over the first game with some extra content to the PS3, but No More Heroes 1 and No More Heroes 2 were both on the Wii. And their second one, it's been exclusive. They've never ported it anywhere else. And now Travis Strikes Again it's coming to the Switch as an exclusive, as a spin-off. And if that game does well, we will be seeing, as per Suda51, what he said, we will be seeing a No More Heroes 3, an official third game. So the series is still around. It's still very relevant and close to Nintendo. And it's popular. And there's people that love the game and request them in. And like I said, I don't really heavily, have popularity and demand prioritized on my list. I always talk about relevancy, recency, closest to Nintendo, push from Nintendo, closest from third parties as brands, as a relationship with Nintendo, which he has, like all that. And those other categories, popular and demand, which I don't value as much as the ones I just mentioned, but he has that too. The fact that we're getting a new No More Heroes game is the reason why I think he heavily is likely. Travis Strikes Again, even though it's like a spin-off kind of thing, it's not an official number 3. It is a new game, and we haven't seen a new No More Heroes game at all since 2010 when No More Heroes 2 came out on the Wii. So the fact that he had games back then, has a legacy. The No More Heroes series has been around since like 2008. I think it was 2008 when the first one came out. And now we're getting a third game, and he's more relevant now. It's bringing Travis Touchdown back. I think that's also another reason why he is at least semi-likely. He has legendary status on Nintendo, closest to Nintendo. The first two games, which came out years ago, gave him a reason to be in Smash Bros. 4. It didn't happen, and now he's being brought back. And Suda51 says if this does well, we're going to get No More Heroes 3, and I'm assuming if we get No More Heroes 3, we're going to get No More Heroes 4, 5, and 6. The series can continue to go around. It's probably the most well-known Suda51 franchise. It's like one of the only few series he makes, games he makes that actually is a series, is a franchise, and it is heavily, popular, and a lot of people know about it. And since it has closest to Nintendo and is heavily known, at least it gives them a chance. And now the series is being brought back with Travis Strikes Again on the Switch, so it makes them even more relevant for this upcoming Smash Bros. Game on Nintendo. So not on the Nintendo Switch, Smash Bros. 5, whatever the heck they want to call it. And Suda51 wants him in the game. And we know what happened when Kojima wanted freaking Snake in Smash Brothers. He was friends with Sakurai, and he got in. Suda51 is technically friends with Sakurai as well, so if he wants his character in the game at some point, Travis Touchdown may very well actually be possible if it happened with Snake, and Snake is not as close to Nintendo as Travis is, but Snake is also more of a legendary third-party character than Travis is, so it can go either which way. So those are the reasons why I feel it makes sense for him to be in the game. He is closest to Nintendo. All his games have been on Nintendo. I know the first one was ported to the PS3, like I said, but the second one's still, exclusive, and the third one's coming out, even though it's not number 3, the next one's coming out very soon, sometime this year. So he's still relevant, and his franchise, No More Heroes, is still being used. The new game, like I basically mentioned, No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, so like I said, he's still relevant, still being used, and Suda51 wants to see him in Smash Brothers. Put 2 and 2 together, those are some pretty good reasons for why he may have missed out on Smash Bros. 4, but he makes sense for Smash Bros. 5 at this point. Now, moveset ideas. This is going to be a simple one. A lot of our characters, if I didn't know too much about them, I'd go into detail. I go research and go into detail. Or if I knew about him, I went into detail myself because I know about the characters. This character, I know about it. I beat the first 2 No More Heroes games. There have been freaking hard as hell bosses in both of them, but they both are freaking fun as hell games. Cool characters, cool story, cool gameplay, cool everything. And I'm looking forward to Travis Strikes Again and hopefully No More Heroes 3 and so on and so forth. Hopefully the series does continue. I really want to see more No More Heroes. It is. Travis Touchdown is an awesome character personality-wise. But this is like more of a simplistic moveset. His main moves in the game, smash attacks, will be the beam katana. He will jab, he will slice, he will uppercut, he will do various things. I'm not going to be super in detail here because his moveset is very basic. I can easily not have to go into detail on his stuff because I can just be plain Jane with him and still talk a lot about his moveset because I know a lot about Travis Touchdown. Like certain characters I went into detail like on Sora and Rex and Celica and all these other stuff, or I did research for Rayman or research for Takamaru. I don't have to do too much research for him because I've actually played the games, but I'm also simplistic about it because I actually know how he would play. But like I said, the smash attacks, I'd make them all beam katana things. Maybe you even have to charge it up. Maybe if you charge it up, you could do charge strike like, you're like, because he does charge attacks and it takes away the battery. Maybe you can make the battery thing like a part of a moveset where if you do too much charging, you have to wait a few seconds to get your beam katana's battery back up. Obviously, they're not going to do the motion he does when it does. He'll be in the game, but it will be like Bayonetta. They will censor him a bit, but even then, his personality will still come through, and I think it will still make sense. He swears like a freaking sailor in the games, but Bayonetta does too, and they managed to get her into Smash Brothers, so they censor him a bit, and it won't really take too much away from him. But like the motion of, you know what I'm talking about. The motion is, if you play No More Heroes, how he charges his beam katana. They're not going to have that, but they will probably. I would be surprised if they do the beam katana battery thing as a thing, so you don't do too much charging. So maybe if you charge too much, you have to let it recharge a few seconds to be able to use it again. I can see that as like a risk versus reward type of thing. But yeah, beam katana attacks would be his special attacks. That's what I would mostly do on like jab strikes and other things. And since it's a beam katana, it's not like a sword, but he does similar strikes, and he also has a different fighting style of how he wields it. So there you go. And the special attacks, he's also a big freaking wrestling fan. And in the games, you do a whole lot of wrestling moves. So I think I would focus his special attacks on doing wrestling moves. He'll grab opponents, do a DDT, do a tombstone, do a pile driver, maybe do like a diamond cutter. You can give him wrestling moves he never even actually does. German suplexes he does. Give him a diamond cutter, give him a hurricane rana, give him a freaking clothesline from hell type of situation. Have him do drop kicks, have him do a lot of stuff. He can do drop kicks, clotheslines, like backbreakers, German suplexes, dragon suplexes, pile drivers, tombstones, DDTs. He does a lot of freaking wrestling moves, and I know there's some wrestling moves I just named that he doesn't actually do in the game. You never really see him do like a clothesline or a drop kick, but get crazy with it. He's a freaking wrestling fan. He's like a wrestling fanatic, and that's one of the major things of his moveset. I would focus a lot of his special attacks on him doing wrestling moves and have him be grabs and have him be close to the opponent, and you have to be close to the opponent to do a lot of his special attacks. I also think I'd give him his motorcycle to ride here, so maybe you can press a certain special attack. He gets on the motorcycle, rides around, you can run people over, so maybe make it like Wario's motorcycle as well, so he can pick it up, and then he can go all anime otaku-ish and lift it up and throw it at opponents. He can, I'm going to sell my motorcycle. Bam! And then after that, I'll DDT you with a pile driver or something. I don't know. Focus a lot on wrestling moves, and then have him run people over a motorcycle. That's how I think his special attacks will mostly be. Now, as for his final smash, I came up with 3 different ideas. So unless he's like Ryu and can have 2, or they bump it up to 3, or whatever, there's 3 different ideas I could see for him. Or if he just has one, it's one of these. The tiger transformation from No More Heroes 2 would be kind of cool. You just turn him into a tiger, you control him, he does triple damage, you run around the stage and start attacking people and giving them massive damage. That's one. Kind of basic one, and kind of boring really, but it'd be kind of cool to see you do that. Because, main one. Sorry, need a stretch. 2, he uses his giant mech suit, the Glastonbury. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. He gets in the mech, and either you control it behind the stage, and you're like, sword swipe, and you're just controlled from that stage. So it's like the Samus new one or the Snake one, except instead of on the foreground, he's in the background attacking the stage, using the beam sword katana and explosives and attacking you with the hands. Or it's a cutscene where you catch him in it and they're all like, no, flying through the sky. And he's like, yeah, boom, explosion, giant mech power, Megazord, Power Ranger anime, Gundam, whatever the heck else. I don't know. He's a big otaku anime fan. Just make it very anime-esque. That's the second one, which I think that one will have a lot more so than the Tiger transformation. The third idea is strawberry on the shortcake. And he goes all Super Saiyan, and it's like supersonic, except he doesn't fly around. He just goes all gold and glowing, and he's like doing triple damage. Explosions everywhere. People are flying off the stage. That's the one I would really want. If there's only one Final Smash, he needs to be strawberry on the freaking shortcake. Then the Glustonberry could be a secondary one if there's two for him. Tiger transformation is kind of the boring one of this thing. And that's my moveset ideas. And as for percentage chance, I feel he could be in this game. I'm going to give it a little bit lower than some of the third parties I mentioned on this list, like Shovel Knight, Shantae, Bomberman, Rayman, and Crash Bandicoot. I'm going to give him a 70%. It's still very high. He's still a very likely third-party character. He's like right below Crash and Bomberman and Shantae and Shovel Knight and whatnot. He's right there, but he's also higher than stuff like Doomslayer and BJ Blazkowicz and someone from Dark Souls and any other indie character that's not Shantae or Shovel Knight or even Spyro the Dragon and whatnot. But he's not there with Rayman and Bomberman and Shantae and Shovel Knight and, you know, all those characters. Crash Bandicoot, which I think are the top 5, really. But yeah, I'm giving him a 70%. He's still very likely. He still has a history and closest to Nintendo. Suda51 wants him in, but he's not 100% guaranteed, and he's not higher than some of the characters I've mentioned, but he's also higher than a lot of other third-party characters that are very mentioned and very somewhat possible. And that's my video. Snipiest Funds, Travis Touchdown, Smash Bros. 5 characters on number 25. From the comments, I think you guys think it's 70% is a good one. You think it's too low, too high? What would you give him? What moveset ideas would you give him? What of my 3 Final Smash ideas would you like it most? Because I think Strawberry and the Shortcake would be the best. And then the Glustonberry. Sorry. And what moveset ideas would you give him? What about your reasons for why you think he makes sense? Or do you not think he makes sense? I have no idea. You may not think he makes sense. I think he makes a lot of sense. Not the most sense, but he does make sense. And that's it for character number 25 on this list. The series is still going. And number 26, we'll be jumping back into the world of retro characters with the Excite Biker. Hope you guys like this video. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Stay tuned for the next one and any other future video I do. And always remember, strawberry on the shortcake. Bye.